Zilch left, 35 Wichita Macho
Dice
Toe.
right, F5.
Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg.
Ready? Right. All right, and welcome back to the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. This is episode 15. Good Lord. I'm going by super quick. I'm Nick Lazo, of course, joined, as always, by Ryan Shapiro. How you doing today, Ryan?
Pretty good. Pretty tired. It's a little bit gloomy out, but hey, it's fall. I'm starting to see some red trees. Which is nice. I like the feeling of fall. I like that. So, and football is well underway. And you know what, Loki, the weather is exactly how I'm feeling right now about football.
Yep. And as another week in the season goes by, another big coach goes down. We'll get into that a little bit later. But starting off going in to the top 5, bottom 5, starting off with the bottom 5. Honorable mention to Mike Shula for pretty much calling the worst game you could have called in the fourth quarter, especially when you're up against the number 4 team in the country at home and you somehow throw away that win.
Quite literally threw that one away. I mean, we were watching a different game. We were watching the Mizzou Vandy game, and we're seeing South Carolina up 16-14 going into the fourth. They got to nope, never mind. All right,
Immediately, yeah.
22-14. Nope.
Yeah, immediately turn it over.
Nope.
So, another tough break for South Carolina.
Against Bama, last year's game was very similar to that as well.
Yeah, last year's game though, they were trying to fight back in to win, and they weren't.
Yeah.
This time they were in position to win and shot themselves.
Yep.
So that's not good. All right. Anyways, moving on. Number 5 is Illinois, simply because Ryan hates them.
Dude, if Illinois somehow
Gets ranked,
just sneaks back into the rankings in the next 4 weeks after losing on the road in Washington 42-25 in a game they were just never in. They lost 63-10 to Indiana on the road. They are probably the worst road team this year. Last year, different story. But this year, I mean, they are awful. They suck. They are 2-3 in the Big Ten. They are below UCLA. They are below Northwestern, Nebraska, Minnesota. They are below all of those teams right now. I don't think any of those teams, other than Nebraska and Washington was ranked at one point, right?
Yeah, I think. No, actually,
very brief. I don't think they were.
I don't think they were. Let me see. Keep talking.
Either way, Illinois, was number 9 at one point, and now they're awful, and they should never be ranked again. And they have Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern to finish off the year. 3 of those games are at home. If they don't win every single one of those games, they're absolutely awful.
Yeah.
They're the most overrated team ever.
Voiced how crappy they were, and how much you just hated them last week. You hoped for what did you hope for? 3-0.
Yeah, with Washington winning, because I don't like Washington either.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Number 4 is Austin Simmons at the goal line. Because for some reason Lane Kiffin got the bright idea to put him in completely cold. At an important point of the game at the 3-yard line. He went 0 for 2 with 2 overthrows to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty funny to watch because they kind of just ran the same play twice.
And then afterwards, you could see Lane Kiffin. He was like, "Yeah, that was dumb. That's on me."
Yeah, and I mean, Chambliss played very well too. He was all over the place. Come on, Lacey was doing good work.
Usually, when you see coaches replace their quarterback at the goal line, it's usually for a quarterback that's more mobile. Not one that's less mobile. You're not getting much better running ability than Chambliss.
Nope.
All right, moving on. Number 3 is Mississippi State in both the fourth quarter and overtime. Because what the heck? What happened? You had Texas down and beat, and you let them rip off 24 in the fourth, and then you do nothing in overtime, and all of a sudden Texas wins.
Yeah, that was probably the most telling game I think I've seen of Texas this entire year. They just, I mean, absolutely horrendous through the first half. I didn't watch the game just because one, I didn't want to after Mizzou, and two, I knew something like this was going to happen where Mississippi State was going to go up like 24-14 at half. They went up by 10 at half, and I was like, I don't want to see that, whether they win or lose, because I can just watch the highlights the next day if they win, and if they lose,
I
great.
don't
I
want
don't
to
want to
see
see it
crap.
anyways. Um, but I mean, Ryan Niblett might be the just greatest punt returner since Devin Hester
Yeah.
and Cordero Patterson.
There you go. You got it.
I almost wanted to say Corderell.
Corderell. Yeah, that'd be that's some pretty dumb of you. By the way, do any of these teams know what running the ball is? Texas,
No,
32
no, no, no,
carries
no.
for 72 yards. Mississippi State, 43 carries for 63 yards. Granted, a lot of that on
Okay,
Mississippi
hold on,
State
hold
is,
on. Booth had 24 for 99.
yeah, Blake Shapen had 15 carries for negative 39 yards. I don't know how many times he got sacked because I didn't see this game, but oh my God. Wait, let me see real quick.
I mean,
He got
Anthony Hill had
sacked.
2.5.
He got sacked 7 times.
Ooh.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Jeez, and they still put up 38.
Yeah, it's somehow. Anyways, moving on to number 2 of the bottom 5, Arizona State, for being the most inconsistent team ever. How one week can you beat Texas Tech and then the next week get shelled pretty badly by Houston?
It's it's the same thing every week with Arizona State. They what was it? They got a big win over TCU, who was ranked at the time, 27-24 at home. I'm pretty sure they stormed the field for that one. Or was that the Texas Tech game?
I think that was a Tech game.
Might have been that was the Tech game. I think that was the Tech game. Then they after the TCU game, 42-10 blowout on the road against Utah. Beat
Oof.
Tech the next week somehow off of magic, and then the next week
Magic,
at home lose to Houston.
Magic and a backup quarterback. Hold on, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
It's magic.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but then they get crapped on by Houston. I don't know. Confusing
Yeah,
team.
I mean they should beat Iowa State this week if the pattern keeps up.
Yeah, I guess. Or they could do what they've been doing, which is be, unexpected and
And no
lose.
one
So
could
I
predict
don't know.
them.
Anyways, inconsistent team. You're in the bottom 5 for this week. Good job. Number 1, Brian Kelly, whose time at LSU is over finally. Got
Yeah.
fired after Texas A&M pretty much dismantled them ever since about the second quarter.
Yeah, it was going into it. It was a good offense versus a good defense, and a very mid offense at best versus a very mid defense at best. And the good offense showed they're a good offense, and that LSU defense just couldn't keep up. And um, you know, y- LSU got held to about the same amount of points as I believe it was UTSA in week 1. So
Yeah.
good on LSU. They scored one more point than them.
Yeah, also in addition, Garrett Nussmeier going the whole game just with the offense struggling. He went 22 of 35, 168, and a touchdown. The end of the game, Kelly pulls him and puts Michael Van Buren Jr. in the game. Goes 3 for 4, leads the team down the field, and scores. Like that. Not a good look for Nussmeier. Anyways, moving on.
Curb hype. Hashtag curb hype.
Hashtag curb hype. We say it every week. All right. Honorable mention, going into the top 5, honorable mention to Dante Moore for this clip of being a good teammate.
Dan mentioned that you might have been carried to the locker room on the shoulders of players. Did that happen? And what was the feeling like after the game?
I love you, Brock. You did so baby.
Yeah, they picked me up after Dan talked to all of us, and I got to break us down. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I mean that's just what you want from a guy. He goes down with a nose injury, and then he after the game, I can't remember who exactly their backup quarterback was, but he came in the game, was 4 for 4 with 40 yards, I believe. Did exactly what he needed to do, and more, just very very nice, very leader like. Walked in and was like, it was during the press conference, and just great teammate.
It was
Or I love you.
is it Brock Thomas?
Brock Thomas. Thank you. I love you, Brock Thomas.
It was just like, I love you, Brock. Good shit. Oh, I can't say that.
Oh, boo. It's okay. I sounded like a moron there, anyways.
Anyways, there's something else I was gonna say. I forgot what it was. Anyways,
Hashtag Kerr Pike.
now you're just saying it for no reason.
I'm just saying it to transition.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, moving
It's
on.
gonna catch. It's gonna catch. Lemon law.
Not gonna catch. Moving on, number 5. Multiple close games this week. Had a lot of really just down to the wire games. Gave us a lot of good football. So good week of football, at least college wise. NFL.
Yeah, yeah. Oof. Just everyone got blown out. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had to kick off the week. Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech went into overtime. Western Kentucky won 28-27. Then on Wednesday, you had Mo State and New Mexico State go to overtime. Missouri State pulled that one out. Thursday was just a close game between South Alabama and Georgia State, 38-31. Just good football game. It's like, there's a good amount of offense, but still a little bit of defense in there somewhere. Virginia Tech Cal 42-34. Virginia Tech won over Cal somehow in double overtime. And then the Saturday slate, obviously Vanderbilt, Mizzou quite literally went down to the wire. Virginia, North Carolina overtime. Texas, Mississippi State overtime. Rutgers, Purdue was a good game if you were watching. I mean, just a lot of great games just a lot of close football games. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Ish.
Right on. Moving on to number 4 is Joey Aguilar. Great game from the Tennessee quarterback. He was 20 of 26, 396 yards and 3 touchdowns in a rout of the Kentucky Wildcats. Tennessee offense showed up in that game as compared to the week before. Just good bounce back game for them and a good bounce back game for Aguilar.
Yeah, I mean, overall looked good, but I'm just gonna give a quick little prop to Cutter Boley. 330, 5 touchdowns,
He wasn't
26 to
bad either.
35.
Yeah.
He did his job, I guess. I mean, obviously Tennessee was gonna win this game, and they still put up 34 points. Kentucky did, and
No.
it was a little less close than the stat line probably shows.
Cutter Bully's nice, for sure.
Yeah, he was good this week.
Yeah.
It was a good game from him.
Moving on to number 3, the top 5 is Isaac Brown, the Louisville running back. Killer game against Boston College. 14 carries, 205 yards rushing, and a touchdown. Nice. Good job.
Quite literally can't ask for much more at a 62-yard touchdown run for a one-play drive, and with about a minute left in the second quarter. So that was a big time run right there. Just quick score. Boston College didn't score back, and I mean that kind of just gave them the edge for the rest of the game. They went up by 11 at that point, and Boston College just couldn't really keep up with them.
No, he's
for the rest of the
averaging
game.
8.7 yards a carry this year. That's insane.
That's nuts. That's
It's the reason why Louisville's was 6-1.
jeez. 75 carries, 650 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the year.
I love me a good workhorse back. All right, moving on. Number 2, kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, is the Texas offense randomly deciding to turn it around. They've been kind of underwhelming the entire year, and then just they flipped the switch against Mississippi State of all people for some reason, and put up 24 right in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, 24, and then got the win in overtime. Good on them for figuring something out.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Texas started the game about as good as they could have. It was a 3-and-out, and then a 60-yard pass. Oh, a 60-yard play. It was a screen, I guess, to Wingo, and then a 3-yard run for Manning, and then just nothing for the rest of the half.
Punt. They did get another touchdown.
They got another touchdown, but
that was
I mean,
with favorable field position, and then punt, interception,
yeah, it was a
punt.
3.7 yard per play
And then
drive.
same all the way to the third quarter. Missed field goal, punt. And then when you flip to the fourth quarter, touchdown, field goal, touchdown.
Yeah.
To end the game. What?
How does? Okay. Yeah. Sure. Cool.
Sure.
Like, where has this 5 plays 80 yards, 9 plays 75 yards, 3 minutes, 12 plays 53 yards? Where has this been just all year from Texas?
I don't know. Texas still very much alive for the college football playoff at this point. They obviously need to win out, and maybe some
Somehow.
other things happen. But I don't know if they play like that. Could look like a dangerous team.
Yeah, that's got to be the team that shows up for a lot of its games, though.
Got a lot of hard games left. What did they take on Vandy this week?
Yeah, we'll
One
talk
last
about
thing.
that in a bit.
Yeah. And number one in the top 5. Good Lord, Drew Mestamaker. You want to read it out, Ryan?
Give me a second. Here it is. All right. To start off, Drew Messmaker, 608 passing yards on
Oof.
49 attempts, 37 of 49, 4 touchdowns and a pick. He's a freshman, by the way. Threw for the school record.
Yeah. I was like paying minimal attention to that game, but I was around it while it was on. I looked up, and I think Charlotte was up like 20-7 or something. And they
Yep.
were getting all hype on the sideline. I look back like, I don't know, 15 minutes later, North Texas had the lead, and I look back another 10 minutes later, they were up by 3 scores. I was like, oh, okay.
So this game's over. Got it.
608 yard
I mean-
passing yards will do it to you. We'll do it for you, I guess.
I mean, Wyatt Young had a 70-yard touchdown grab in the 4th. Let's see. I know. And then Cameron Dorner had a 41-yard touchdown grab. So most of it was actually just short ball, and they were just dicing them up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh,
9,600 people saw that live.
yeah.
Think about that.
Think about that. Anyways, yeah, just amazing game from Drew Mestamaker. All right, that concludes top 5. Moving on to the talking points. As we mentioned already, Brian Kelly out at LSU. That leaves another top tier job open, and another top tier job open in the SEC, and another job that may set its crosshairs on Lane Kiffin. We heard about a bunch of buzz about him in Florida last week. I feel like some of that buzz is going to shift to LSU this week. Ryan, in your opinion, where do you think Kiffin is a better fit at LSU or Florida? What's that laugh for?
For obvious reasons, I feel like Lane Kiffin's just a better fit at LSU.
Care to explain?
I don't know. I feel like there just might be like an inside agent type deal going on there.
Just an already
Lane Kiffin's daughter just
an already established
like-
connection.
Yeah, Lane Whit Weeks. I'm pretty
Let's-
sure he's a senior actually.
It's not gonna matter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like LSU is also just the more like
Prestigious job.
prestigious, flashy, just like better position to win a national championship than Florida. Like, yeah, Florida's got Lagway, and he's still got a couple more years before, he's done. But Lagway's been very just
Inconsistent.
throughout his college career, and again, LSU. Nussmeier's a senior. A lot of their receivers are seniors. It's going to be, a lot to get back. But I feel like you've got the capital, you've got the prestige, you've got the coach. If you get Lane Kiffin, he's an offensive coach. He's got a good mind. So it's just if he doesn't stay at Ole Miss, I think he'll end up at LSU.
This is where I think the difference between the two is both teams have recruited fairly well. But I think the slight edge is to LSU in both the NIL department and what Kiffin would be inheriting. Would he go there? You go back to, we'll say, the last 3 years of recruiting classes. 2023, LSU was 3rd in the SEC. Florida was 6th. 2024, I believe Florida did have the edge off LSU, but that was mainly due to DJ Lagway. Florida was 4 and LSU was 6. So Florida got the edge there. But this past cycle, let me pull it up here. LSU was 5 and Florida was 6. So I feel like the talent
It's
is
like a very slight
it's
edge,
very
though.
slight edge, but I kind of agree that like you're going into a more prestigious setting going to LSU
And I feel like,
than going to
and I feel
Florida.
like, Lane is an established coach, and I feel like playing in Baton Rouge, with those fans, those are some of the most passionate fans in the entirety of college sports in Baton Rouge, and I think that also could play a factor. Is just like, yeah, they're gonna have high expectations for me, but they're gonna talk about me like their brother. Like they're gonna talk about me very highly if I do good, and if I do bad, well, they're gonna want me out. And Florida, I mean, you do one bad thing and they're gonna fire you. So it's like, or they're gonna want to fire you at least.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, you're not wrong. I don't know. It's just been like kind of LSU's had a bit more recent success than Florida, so I feel like Florida's more anxious. I don't know. I guess that's the right word to use
Maybe
there.
maybe Florida will offer a little bit more money.
Maybe they're a little bit more desperate to kind of get back to elite
That
status
level, yeah.
more than LSU is. So you
Hmm.
might get a little bit more, but you also are going to be under a microscope a lot of the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah. Anyways, speaking of the Brian Kelly move, I think this is going to have an effect on a couple other teams, mainly Auburn. We were mentioning the past couple weeks how we think Hugh Freeze is also on the hot seat. I think Brian Kelly being dismissed actually is going to cause Auburn to hold off on pulling that trigger on Freeze, mainly because there's so many top jobs open right now. Realistically, who are they going to go get to replace Hugh Freeze at this very
Mike
moment?
Gundy.
Yeah, but is that like
No, that's a horrible pick.
is that really what
Obviously.
you're doing? Like, there's no point into firing Freeze now than waiting till at the very least the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think next year, worst case scenario, you just kind of have your offensive or your defensive coordinator just take over, and until there's better coaches available,
If I'm Auburn,
because
you need to do something. You need to make the move that makes it possible to retain the most talent. The problem with
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to let
I think
Freeze
you're right on
go
that.
now is he brought a lot of guys there who are very talented football players. Cam Coleman, he brought in Eric Singleton from the transfer portal. There's a lot of talented pieces on this Auburn roster that a good coach can make good use out of. You just have to keep these players here because if Freeze is let go, a lot of these guys could jump ship to other programs. So if I'm Auburn, that's how. If keeping Freeze to at least the end of the year is my best chance at keeping my star receiver and Cam Coleman, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, no, I actually think that makes really good sense. I
Because they're
never
not
really
they're not playing for
fully.
anything right now.
Yeah, they're just kind of out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're playing for a bowl game. That's what they're playing for.
and
Um,
that's a most at this point.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if anything, but I mean, they've still got Bama on their schedule. They've still got who else? Where we at? Where we at? Where's
Still have they play Oklahoma.
It's not
I know
easy.
that for sure. That's not easy. That's in Oklahoma too, I believe.
Vanderbilt on the road,
That
not
Oh,
easy.
are you talking about? I'm sorry. I don't know why we were talking about LSU. You were talking about Auburn, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Sorry,
mean,
my bad.
they've got Kentucky and Mercer, and those are the two games they should win, so they should end up 6-6.
Yeah, but will they? Like, can we
God
guarantee that
only
they beat?
knows, I guess.
Can we guarantee they beat Kentucky? Like,
Yeah, no, I
who
can't.
knows? Whatever.
I mean, if that Kentucky team shows up, I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. Anyways, moving on, kind of on a similar subject, there's a lot of top tier jobs open right now. We're gonna go through them and say who we think, not necessarily is the best choice, but who we think at the end of the day is gonna fill those jobs.
At the end of
Um,
the day.
really, inside joke. All right, start us off with LSU.
LSU, I just don't know if Lane is going to leave. That's the thing. It's like,
I don't.
will he leave Ole Miss? Because his entire family is in Mississippi.
I personally think LSU is a better fit than Florida for Lane. I don't think Lane leaves Oxford.
I just don't think he leaves Oxford, and I just don't know coaches like that to guess
I
who's gonna get snagged.
I think I got a pretty.
Who?
They bring back a familiar face from their historic season, and I think they go and try and get Joe Brady from the Bills to be their new head coach. He was their offensive coordinator
Okay.
during the 2019 year.
Yeah,
So
that could be a move.
yeah.
I don't think he'd be opposed either. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like,
But another
yeah, all right.
yeah, that was like, it makes sense from okay, is a good offensive play caller. He's been here before, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's not really, that's not a culture hire. Someone shared their opinion with me earlier, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Brett Key,
Mhm.
kind of like what A&M did with Mike Elko. You go get a hard nosed ACC coach who is going to bring, sustainability and
Yeah.
culture to your team. Brett Key would be that for LSU, the head coach of Georgia Tech. If they were to go get him, I'd like that hire. I'd really like that hire.
I'd like it as well, but I don't know.
The problem is it might be a little hard to get Brett Key to leave Georgia Tech. I get the sense he really likes it currently in Atlanta. I feel like if LSU offers him a big contract, he's going to go right to Georgia Tech and say, "Hey guys, this is what they're offering
Match
me.
it.
Can you give me something around this, and I'll stay here?"
Yeah, just within a couple mil.
Yeah. All right. Next job, Florida. I've said this for the last. I have had my pick since Billy Napier got fired. But Ryan, what's yours?
I think it's the only job this guy would go for, and it's the only, maybe not the only job that he would go for, but it's the one that I feel like makes the most sense to me, and it's Drink. It's Eli
Eli
Drinkwitz,
Drinkwitz.
of Mizzou. Yeah, I feel like he's been linked to that one a lot since Brian Kelly just got canned. It's his chances are now wide open to get that job. So I mean, it. I feel like he could end up there.
Um, Eli Drinkwitz is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like Brent Key at Georgia Tech, it might be a little bit hard to get Drinkwitz to leave Mizzou. And unlike Georgia Tech, I think Mizzou.
That's what I'm hoping.
I think Mizzou's in a better position to be like, okay, we see what they're offering. We can match that.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
match.
I can
think,
agree with that.
I think they're in a better position than Georgia Tech to be like, yeah, we want you to stay around. Here's that money. Here you go. You're here. With that in mind, if Kiffin's off the table, I think Florida goes Jed Fish, the Washington head coach. He's been around. He's been around a lot of teams as a head coach. He was at Florida. He's a Florida grad. He was a graduate assistant under Steve Spurrier, way
Wow.
back. So he's
way back in the day.
he's got Florida somewhere in his blood. So I think that's Allmeyer, and then he brings just like an offensive spark. We've seen Washington be a really good offensive team this year, except against Ohio State. That's kind of just what Florida has needed. Now, if he goes about it the same approach as Billy Napier and calls his own plays, then we got an issue. But I think Jed Fish is a good fit for Florida.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, Penn State.
This is another Drinkwitz location that I could 100%
I
see.
could also see Drinkwitz here as well.
Just because for some reason Mizzou has that Pennsylvania pipeline.
I
and
see him.
He will probably be able to take Ahmad Hardy, Zollers, and Zollers with him at the very least. And I mean,
I
that'd be
see
dangerous.
Penn State as more of a destination for Eli Drinkwitz than Florida.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. As I was thinking, like Florida is probably going to want to hire an SEC coach because their championship window is kind of open. I feel like they're getting enough recognition, like nationally, where like if they're just winning, then they'll be highly ranked.
My
You know what I'm
uh
saying?
I had an answer to this question and it was shut down a couple days ago. I was thinking Matt Rule, and he has come out and said that he's not leaving Nebraska as of now. Um,
As of now.
as a there's a couple guys. It depends on whether Penn State goes open head coach or they try and take an offensive, a coordinator, offensive or defensive from another team. Joe Brady is also a name linked to this Penn State job. Um, but if they wanted to like really take a chance on uh I guess a fresh coach who's doesn't really have, I actually don't think this guy has any head coaching experience, but it's Brian Hartline, who has built a factory of wide receivers in Columbus, Ohio.
Hmm.
Um, that's the kind of, I guess, dynamic hire that, you're kind of in a weird spot in your
I'd
program.
consider him for like an OC position, but
Yeah, but you're not gonna get him to leave Ohio State.
you don't just get to go from receiver coach to
Well,
head
no,
coach.
he's Ohio State's offensive coordinator. He was promoted to that
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
okay. My
But
fault, my
that's
fault.
that's the problem is what do you get going from Ohio State's offensive coordinator to Penn State's offensive coordinator? That's why I think if they want Hartline, they're gonna have to get him as the head coach. Um,
Right. Yeah, no, I could see that. That could be a move. He's probably going to be able to get some really good receivers for you.
I mean, he's gotten all those guys at Ohio State, so
Yeah.
only time will tell if they do make this decision whether he starts getting some of these big top receivers to Happy
Hmm.
Valley instead of Columbus. Who knows? That's the main three jobs right now that are open.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a lot of those are a lot of elite jobs, and there's a lot of coaches around. So I don't know.
Hmm.
We could be surprised with one or two of these that someone out of nowhere just comes in and takes the job. So, like I said, only time will tell. Anyways, last talking point. We are about a week from the first college football playoff ranking being released. So we have at least 12 teams, our top 12 currently, that we think should make it the playoffs. Should they start right now? Ryan, take it away.
Um, Wait, was I supposed to make like 12
You could
team,
just
a
say
12 team list?
you're 12
I can
teams.
just start rattling off.
Go ahead, bro. Do you?
All right. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I mean, as long as Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama all end up with no more than one loss or two losses, even no more than one loss, though, they should all be the top four. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the, I mean, not all, but like if none of them ends up with more than a loss, they're all in. They're absolutely all in.
Yeah.
Georgia, if they can make the SEC championship game locked in no matter what, if they end up with two losses, I have them on the bubble. I feel like um, Oregon should be in. I feel like they're gonna they who do they have left on their schedule? They've got Iowa, Minnesota, USC, and Washington. They should end up 11-1. They should be in the playoffs. They should end up in a good spot. Ole Miss don't really have anyone too difficult on their schedule. They should end up 11-1, make the playoffs. Georgia Tech, they're 8-0 right now. They've got Georgia to end the year. They can take that as their one loss as long as it's close.
Yeah.
And be the ACC representative. Um, Vanderbilt needs to end up with one loss, one or two losses at most. They've got Texas and Tennessee, as well as Auburn and Kentucky. So that's a bit of a tough schedule to end on, um, especially because the later your loss comes, the more it impacts you for some reason. Um, and I mean, if Vanderbilt ends up with 2 losses, it'll be close. It'll be really close.
Yeah.
Um, BYU, they've got a big match or big game against Tech coming up next week, and then they got TCU. Cincinnati's looked really good, and then UCF. So some tough games left for them. They've got 2 weeks for Tech, to prepare for Tech. So I don't know if I can call them the Big 12 representative yet, but I think they're in the playoff right now. Like, I think they're in the playoff. I think they're in my poll. I'm gonna put Texas Tech over Miami, and then Memphis for right now.
Okay. Let me just start with the 5 conference championship representatives.
Hmm.
I'll just start off Ohio State. I'll go Bama. I'll say Georgia Tech, and then Big 12. Yeah, give me Cincinnati. Um,
Interesting.
and then Group of 5, I'll go Memphis there. So those 5 right there. Indiana in. Texas A&M should get in, barring a late season collapse. Georgia, same deal.
Look. Texas A&M 8-0. Still time to be 8-4.
Still time to be 8-4. That's true. That's what they're known for.
Yeah.
Oregon, same deal. Win out, you should be good. Same with Ole Miss. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
one-loss teams. BYU is interesting because I don't have them winning the Big 12, so meaning they would have to get an at-large bid. And
Hmm.
I don't know. It's suspiciously close to last year where they fell apart at the end of the year and just missed out on the playoffs. So,
What were they? What was the highest they were ranked last year? Were they 6 last year?
uh, I don't.
I'll check.
I'll
You
check.
you keep talking.
Um, Miami, if they keep playing smoothly, I think they should be good to get in. Even if they don't appear in their conference championship game, I think they should be fine. Vandy, if they win out, yes. Notre Dame, if they win out, yes. And there's a couple more teams just sitting on the outside. Like, should the Big 12 championship be between BYU and Cincinnati? That would mean Texas Tech would have to have lost, right? Let me double make sure on this. No, actually it doesn't because Cincinnati does not play Texas Tech. So Texas Tech could very well, I see them sitting on the outside and could get in. So I already named my 5. I'll go with my 7 at large: Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Oregon. I have 3 left.
Hmm.
I'll go Miami, Notre Dame. Ugh. Because I feel like I trust Ole Miss to win out more than not win out. And
Yeah.
also, I don't really know what direction the committee would go if they have, okay, we have 10-2 Ole Miss and 10-2 Notre Dame. What,
Dude, if they don't give it to Ole Miss, that's criminal.
yeah. I think I trust Ole Miss to win out though. They have a very favorable schedule the rest of the way, so I'm gonna go Ole Miss on that
Yeah.
one, and then yeah, I'll say Texas Tech, just because I feel
Yeah.
like their resume stacks up more to Notre Dame. Plus, I think that at that point they would have 1 loss. So yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. So BYU was 6 last year.
Okay, yeah, well, and they fell apart last year, so
Yeah,
I don't.
absolutely. So
And they have 2 hard games to finish the year, with Cincinnati, and then they play Tech this week, right? Yeah, we're getting into
next
that.
week.
So next week, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, they play Tech next week, so they play at Texas Tech and at Cincinnati. If they lose both those games, gone.
Yeah.
Well, that'll bring us to our games of the week this week. Kind of got it's a lighter week than usually is. We still managed to get 6 games out, but a couple of them are a little bit of a stretch. You'll see when we
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about when we get to it. Cincinnati, Utah is game day. It's the first game. Ryan.
yeah, exciting game. Excited that they're going to Utah. I feel like that's a cool matchup for game day, Cincinnati, Utah. two kind of like smaller teams are just good right now. But it's going to be. I feel like what it's going to be is Utah's defense going to show up, and if they do, I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to outpower them. I guess just
My
you know, I just don't know that they'll be able to beat them. And if if Cincinnati can find a way to beat down on this offense, because they've put up 40 points in the last two games. So if this offense, sorry, excuse me, can beat on the Utah off or defense, geez, English, um, I think y- it'll be a better chance that Cincinnati is going to win. I think better offense or a good offense is better than a good defense. And we saw that last week with Texas A&M and LSU. So I'll take Cincinnati.
am I reading this right? Is Utah a 9.5 point favorite in this game?
9.5.
I get they're at home, but Lord.
Am I the moron?
I don't. I'm picking since I just put Cincinnati in my playoff, so I am picking Cincinnati here.
You had no, it's 7.5. Oh no, it's 9. Ooh.
Yeah. Brennan Sorsby, 20 touchdowns to 1 interception. That 1 interception came on the first game of the year, and since then he's been absolutely insane. I feel like he's going to rise to the occasion, and yeah, Cincinnati's going to take this one at the home. 9.5. Jesus, man. On the road, excuse me.
I'll pick them to cover at least.
At the very least, I'm picking Cincinnati to cover.
Yeah,
I'm picking
I'll
them to
take my
win too.
I'll take my super dog, I guess.
Lord. Anyways, next game is Texas and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt coming off that close win against Missouri, and then Texas coming off that overtime win against Mississippi State. Ryan, who you got?
Hydrogen bomb.
This is coughing, baby. Which one is which?
No, it's not even that. That's who I have winning that matchup. That's it just travel.
You have the hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, no. Gosh, because Texas is without Arch this week, I'm pretty sure. So they've got
Granted,
the
when
guy who threw
granted,
the game-winning pass.
granted, when he was in, was he doing much?
Last week, yeah.
Last week Arch came to play, especially in the fourth quarter.
Matthew Caldwell came in for one play through the game-winning pass, so should be fine. Uh, if Gosh, Texas just has to stop Diego Pavia. If they can stop Diego Pavia and they can stop Diego Pavia from running and stop the run overall, if they can do those two things defensively, Mizzou gave up, 17 points to them. Mizzou has a very good defense. I still think Texas has a better defense. If Texas can just play good defense, I feel like they can beat them in that defensive struggle.
I was about to say that very thing. The two best defenses Vandy's played this year has been Alabama and Missouri. They lost to Alabama and they won by a yard against
They
Missouri.
no, an inch, and they scraped by
It
in
was
that game.
a very ugly game for both teams offensively. Texas, I think, is the defense to step up to Diego Pavia and the dynamic Vandy offense. I think if they score more than 20 points, I think Texas wins this game. And it being at DKR, Vanderbilt being ranked 9th in the country, this is gonna be a loud environment. I'm gonna go the Longhorns here.
Yeah.
All right. Next game is Oklahoma and Tennessee. Oklahoma coming off that loss to Ole Miss. Tennessee off that beatdown to Kentucky. What do you see, Ryan?
This should be a good game. Keyword should be. But I want to pick Tennessee. I think Joey Aguilar has been fantastic this year. I think he's a senior quarterback. Okay. 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Great. That's a 3-to-1 ratio, 2,400 yards. Phenomenal. And since the hand surgery, Mateer just still hasn't looked quite right. like what we were seeing when they were playing Michigan. So I think Tennessee should win this one. It's in Neyland. Give me the Vols.
Um, my logic processing tells me to go Oklahoma simply because with a lot of SEC teams, I've noticed the trend of heartbreaking loss immediately followed by a get back game. It happened with Ole Miss. They lost to Georgia, had a get back game against Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost to Texas, had a get back game against South Carolina. Tennessee lost to Alabama, had a get back game against Kentucky. So by that logic, this would be Oklahoma's get back game, and Tennessee is due for an upset. But comparing these two teams, I think Tennessee has just got the better matchup here. And boy, they play well in those black unis, which they're wearing on Saturday. So yeah, I'm going Tennessee. All right, next game up. Ryan, you ready for this?
Oh, this is the one that I've been waiting for.
When we said there wasn't a lot of, I guess, quality games this week, and we had to get creative here. We got a conference opener this week. Washington State and Oregon State. 4-4 Washington State, 1-7 Oregon State for the Pac-12 opener. First of two games they play this year. This is they play this one at Oregon State, and they play at the end of the year at Washington State. Very weird. Ryan, who do you got?
Yeah, so look, we cover the Power Four conferences, but in honor of the Power Five, we have to go for the Pac-12 this week. All right, and it's coughing baby versus dying ant. And coughing baby is Washington State. Oregon State is dying ant because I still think a coughing baby could be a dying ant. So I'm gonna pick Washington State, even though it's on the road. They're still favored by 3.5. I mean, they just haven't. Neither team has looked good this year, but I think Washington State just has the slight upper hand.
I'm gonna say Washington State mainly because, as you just said, both these teams haven't looked good this year, but one's looked slightly better the last 3 weeks, and that's Washington State. A 3-point loss at Ole Miss, and then a 2-point loss at Virginia, and then you get a win against Toledo. Yeah, going the Cougars. Oregon State on the other end, not a lot of things to be optimistic
Hey, they
about
picked
here.
up a win recently.
Yeah, against Lafayette, dude.
Hey, you know what?
They lost by 25 to Wake Forest. They lost by 4 to App State.
A win is a win.
Yeah, and Washington
Okay.
State's got 4 of them.
They
Oregon
only
State has 1 of them.
they only lost by 31 to Tech and 34 to Oregon.
Yeah, also
right.
give me the coughing baby over the dying ant.
Yeah.
Next game
It's
up
not
is
even a question.
USC, Nebraska, both these teams. Middle, I don't want to say middle of the pack, Big Ten teams, but like they're the tier below the top teams, which I guess at this point the top teams just being
They
Ohio State and Indiana. These are solid teams. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
they have slight playoff hopes and need to win.
Yeah. I think USC is just a better roster top to bottom. I don't care that it's at Nebraska. Give me the Trojans. Coming off that loss against Notre Dame too, and a bye week to really let that loss marinate. Yeah, give me the Trojans.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Miles has looked phenomenal. Makai Lemon has looked like one of the best receivers in the country this year. But Dylan Raiola is quite literally Patrick Mahomes.
All right, calm down,
All right.
Collinsworth.
I mean, he's got like a 3-to-1 touchdown ratio. He's got 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's got almost 2,000 yards on the year,
And he can
which
throw
is
the
funny
ball
because
mid parallel to the ground too. Do you know that?
yeah, no, he can make those throws, dude. He's low key nice with it. But it's funny because he's got less passing yards than Jeremiah, and USC has played one less game
Yeah.
than Nebraska.
Yeah, he could do all that, but is he the better quarterback? Really?
I don't know. Maybe
No.
we'll find out this week. Not okay.
I
Well,
say-
it's
I
gonna be
say
a
no.
night. It's gonna be a night game in Lincoln in Memorial Stadium. It'll be exciting. The fans are excited for this one because Nebraska is actually good again? Question mark. We'll find out this weekend, and I'm gonna pick Nebraska, even though they are 6.5 point underdogs. Yikes!
I want you to picture the messiest way you can eat corn on the cob. Do you have it?
Okay,
That's what
yeah.
USC is going to do to Nebraska. Got it? Understood?
Oh, that is not at all where I thought you were going with that.
Where did you think I was going with that?
I literally had like 4 different ideas, and none of them were right.
What was the top one? I'm interested now.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna be like, that's what like Dylan Raiola looks like when he eats corn like that. Think of the messiest way you can eat corn. That's how Dylan Raiola eats,
You know how Dylan Raiola eats corn?
like Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly like Patrick Mahomes, however that is.
He probably calls up Mahomes like, "Yo,
Hey
how
man,
do you eat
how
corn?
you eat your corn?
What a fork."
Is that your Kermit impression?
Yeah.
With a fork? With a fork. All right. On to the last game
That
of
was
the week
that was all right.
before we continue saying mean things about talented quarterbacks. Navy and North Texas. Navy undefeated. North Texas 7-1 after that Drew Mestamaker masterclass against Charlotte. Both these teams still alive for a potential playoff spot coming out of the American in the group of 5. Ryan, who do you got? I think I know who you're gonna pick.
Well, real quick, I feel like we did Memphis a disservice
Why?
because we didn't put them in the top 5.
Oh, you're so right. They beat.
So we're gonna give them their flowers real quick. Memphis played a phenomenal game last week against USF, and now the American is wide open. Memphis
Yeah.
holds the title right now, but the American is wide open at the moment. I'm pretty sure USF is still like that number 2 team, or no,
Let
it's
me
Navy. What
let
am I
me let
saying?
me
It's
peep.
Navy.
Navy's number 1 right now. Tulane is currently
Oh yeah,
actually sitting in second with Memphis and then USF, and then North Texas is 5th. Man, there's a lot of good teams in this conference.
yeah. I mean, it's just
Tulane's
yeah.
3-0 at
It's a
conference play. That's why.
Yeah, Tulane's 3-0 in conference play. You're right. So it's a really good conference. It's fun. It's been really fun to keep up with because Temple is low key, like just kind of like creeping. They're 3-1 in conference play. So if everything just somehow goes,
I, I
the ship flips over somehow and Temple manages something,
Correct.
that'd be
Okay, hold on. Time out. I was about to count you out and be like, really? Is Temple that good? But I see their losses are, granted, they got blown out by
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma,
Georgia Tech.
and then a 1 point loss to Navy. And they have
That's
they have Tulane in North Texas. So we'll see the last 2 weeks
They've
of the
got
season.
Tulane in North Texas. So if they can take care of their own business. Memphis and South Florida still need to lose out or lose
This
one
is
more game. They need to lose one more. Anyways, this is not part of the preview. The American is wide open.
essentially, yes.
Essentially, North Texas is sitting in fifth. Navy is the top team. Drew Mestamaker is just my favorite quarterback in all of college football right
Mhm.
now. I think he took that spot over Diego Pavia last week because 608 yards as a freshman, by the way. North Texas, I've always been a fan. I just got to go with the mean green.
Yeah, I was probably pretty set, or like set in the middle in this game until I looked at the line for Mestamaker last week and saw 600 yards. How can you pick against that? Be so for real. Yeah, give me the mean green.
As long as they can stop the run,
Which Navy does a lot.
that's all they got to do. They just got to stop the run and then let Mestamaker cook.
Yeah. Playing against Navy in the stupid video game is so annoying, dude. It's the worst thing ever.
You know what team was really annoying to play against the other night?
What?
Mississippi State. Let me tell you why. I go down.
Haven't they
I score a
lost all their
touchdown.
games this year by 1 possession?
Jeez. I go down, score a touchdown against Mississippi State. Next thing I know, 5-yard pass, hurry up. 3-yard run, hurry up.
Oh, so it's Tennessee.
14-yard run, hurry up.
So Tennessee.
5-yard pass, hurry. Stop. Like, dang, bro. Like, chill on me. Like, I'm playing. And then I go and play Vanderbilt the next week. Played beautiful defense. Played Kansas on the road. Oh, beautiful defense. And great offense. It was just a great day for Ryan.
I think you just need to like fire your strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Well, it's irrelevant to anything we've been saying the whole time. That's gonna do it for this episode of the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. Yeah, another lighter week in terms of the games, as we already said, but hopefully we get some good ones here to another great week of football. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.